Welcome to Module 37, Introduction to a Princeton Offense. A Princeton offense uses passing, cutting, and screening to create scoring opportunities. In this introductory module, we will focus on the three most common actions in the Princeton offense: the point series, chin series, and low post series. Before jumping into things, here are some general concepts that apply to any type of Princeton offense. Before looking at video examples, let's start with the basic alignment. In any Princeton offense, you'll have two players positioned in the slot, two players positioned on the wing, and one player positioned in the post, typically on the ball side. Let's see how this looks in a game, starting with the chin series. A chin series will feature a slot-to-slot pass, a back screen, a basket cut, and then a flare screen. Let's take a look. Here we will see typical Princeton offense spacing, again with two players in the slot, two players on the wings, and one post player. The offense will be initiated with a dribble handoff between these two players, while an exchange takes place on the weak side, a common way to initiate the chin series. As the handoff is made, we can see a pass is then made from slot to slot. From here, a pass out to the wing will be made, and while this takes place, the post player here has lifted to the high post area to set a chin screen, basically a back screen, for the guard to make a basket cut to look for a pass, as we see here. In this case, we can see that there's not too much room for the cutter to receive it, so he should quickly clear out towards the ball side corner. Let's look at the next action of the chin series. We will see the post player who set the back screen here set a flare screen for the guard to pop out and receive it, or in a case where the defender tries to jump above it to deny the pass, the guard could curl around the screen and make a basket cut. We can see that the player receiving the flare has done well to set up the screen, having taken a couple steps towards his defender to bring him into the screen in order to make it more effective, a key to this flaring action. The reads from here could be a shot, a drive and finish, or a drive and dish. So, we'll take a deeper dive in the chin series module, but the key takeaways here are the use of the slot-to-slot pass, a back screen, basket cut, and then flare screen to create scoring opportunities. Now let's look at a Princeton offense that uses a point series. The point series will utilize a pass into the post player around the elbow, followed by a series of cuts, screens, and passes. The ball is with the highlighted player, and we will see the offense initiated with a cut from this player, followed by a slot-to-slot pass. The ball handler will then dribble to his right before making the entry pass into the post player, and we can see the original cutter has cleared out to the ball side corner, filling the open gap. From here, the player who made the entry pass will make one of three actions: away, setting a screen, then commonly popping as shown; under, moving towards the basket and then out towards the ball side corner; or, as we will see him doing, going over and setting a screen for the player in the corner. Common action from here is for the player in the corner to come around and take the dribble handoff, but continuing for a half a second, we see the player's defender has tried to jump over the screen, and the player follows one of the few hard rules of a Princeton offense, recognizing his defender overplaying the screen and making a hard backdoor cut to receive it, and ultimately drawing the foul. So again, we will look at each of these reads within a point series in other modules, but the key takeaway here is simply the entry pass into the post player with decisions to follow that. Let's finish up with a low post series. The low post series will set a player around the low block, with cuts, screens, and passes made off of the entry pass into the player. This series is typically less patterned than the others. In this case, we will see a cut from the player in the corner, followed by an entry pass, as we see. At this moment, the player at the top of the key here has recognized that his defender is overplaying him, leaving space to make a quick backdoor cut, and, as we see, receiving it for an easy layup. Again, we'll look more into the low post series in other modules, but to keep it basic, it's about entering to the low post and then making cuts, screens, and passes off of that entry pass. Before moving on, please review what we've learned about a Princeton offense.